Good afternoon, Mr. Auditor General. If you just, well, to step back a second, I do want to applaud your efforts with Children and Youth Services. I had the opportunity last week to visit with the Indiana County Children and Youth Services Director and some of her board members, and they truly appreciate your efforts. I do think it's important to appreciate that some organizations are doing very well with the funding and the resources that they have, but you did expose some good things there, and I think it behooves us now to make some effort to try and correct those serious concerns. So thank you for that.
Thank you,
but my question, I'm new, as you know. My question is related to the justification for your investigations. You know, not every claim that comes forward warrants an investigation, you know, how do you justify the use of taxpayer dollars? Do you go down a path to a certain point and then stop, or you know, does there have to be some reasonable evidence for you to continue with an investigation?
Yeah, I mean, and not to be flip about it, you know, from the time I get up, or at least outside, until you'll go home at night, you can imagine just going to the grocery store, you know, you get ideas for audits, you know, but we do get, I mean, you know, right. Sometimes you get, amazing what you get at a high school baseball game. But we, you know, again, about 70% of our audits are mandatory, but even in that, there's some discretion on timing, depending on what evidence we get. So we have to audit all the school districts, but if something comes in that's hot, we may change our schedule to go back in sooner. We weigh those as a team. Sometimes it's information from the General Assembly. Sometimes there's something that popped up that just through a newspaper report. Sometimes it's following up on a previous audit we did, and we weigh those as a team. One of the big things is, do we have the manpower to do it? And what is the pathway, even if the information we get, let's just assume it's accurate. What's the path? Is there a real problem that fixes? And is there a pathway to fix it? And also, what's our authority? Thank you.
And then a second question that I have, and you're in front of the cameras a lot, exposing corruption where there's things that need corrected, which is appreciated. But also, I'm sure some of your investigations result in good findings. Not all state agencies are, you know, going down the wrong path. Not all organizations have, you know, misuse of funds and things like that. And when I watch the news, you know, I have 4 kids at home, and they watch the news, and they see the world as, you know, portrayed by a lot of the press releases and press conferences that you have. Are you also telling the good side as well? And how do you what's the rationale behind the publicity oftentimes?
Yeah, so we do releases on all of our audits.
Okay.
I would love to have the day where it would get more attention, where it says, DePasquale says XYZ school district doing fine. We do those releases. They don't get, admittedly, much attention. So it's certainly a fair point. About 90% of our audits are minimal to no findings, which means that the vast majority of our public servants across Pennsylvania are actually doing a good or as good a job as they can. It is, I know what you mean, sort of my kids are getting older now, but there is a side that is afraid to watch the television sometimes because it seems like only bad stuff gets on. We do try, and we have not been effective in breaking through on some of those good stories, although there was one example where I do know where we were able to cut through. My first year in office, we did an audit of the Reading School District, and it was just bad, from soup to nuts. They hired a new superintendent, developed a great partnership with the teachers, the business community, et cetera. And we did a press conference in Reading last year that it was the best turnaround of any school district in Pennsylvania. And the pride on those teachers, the administration, and the people involved in that at the ground floor. And yes, we did get some press attention on that, but I get why it doesn't DePasquale outraged over X. I get why it does, but we did do that, and I will tell you that we will try to find more of those examples.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.